Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am VC Pramod and with me is Manoj Singh Rana with the evening news. The headlines. India-Australia hold bilateral meet in New Delhi to discuss defence cooperation, deepening military engagements and cooperation in emerging defence technologies. CoWIN develops new application programming interface to enable checking of individuals' status of COVID-19 vaccination. Over 72 crore 37 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 97.49%. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to perform Lokarpan of Sardar Dham Bhavan and Bhumi Pujan of Sardar Dham Phase 2 Kanya Chhatralaya in Ahmedabad via video conferencing tomorrow. President Ramnath Kovind to visit Prayagraj tomorrow to lay foundation stones for Uttar Pradesh National Law University and new building complex of Allahabad High Court. In West Bengal, BJP releases list of candidates for by-poll in 3 assembly seats. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee files nomination for by-election in Bhabanipur Assembly constituency. Ganesh Chaturthi being celebrated with devotion across the country. President, Vice President and Prime Minister greet people on the occasion. United Arab Emirates lifts restrictions on entry for fully vaccinated residents. Indians may fly into the UAE from September 12th. In cricket, 5th and final test between India and England at Old Trafford called off due to COVID-19 fears. And in US Open, top seed Novak Djokovic to take on Olympic gold medalist Alexander Zverev in men's semi-final tonight. In women's singles, 18-year-old British Emma Raducanu to clash with Canadian Leylah Fernandez in the finals on Sunday. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is underway, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID information and guidance, contact National Helpline number 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today held bilateral meeting with his Australian counterpart Peter Dutton in New Delhi. Briefing media following the meeting, Mr. Singh said he had fruitful and wide-ranging discussions with his Australian counterpart. He said regional issues were discussed in the meeting besides bilateral defence cooperation and expanding military engagements across services, enhancing defence information sharing, cooperation in emerging defence technologies and mutual logistic support. The Defence Minister said India is committed to building a robust partnership with Australia for the security and growth of the entire region. He said India-Australia partnership is based on shared vision of free, open, inclusive and rule-based Indo-Pacific region. He added that both the nations are keen to work jointly to realize full potential of India-Australia comprehensive strategic partnership.
The significant progress of our bilateral relations in recent times, the elevation of this relationship to a comprehensive strategic partnership during the virtual leaders summit between Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Morrison in June 2020 was a major milestone in the relationship. Despite these testing times of COVID, your visit to India is a testimony of our strong friendship.
Australian Defence Minister Peter Dutton said India's leadership is central to Australia-India-based specific strategy and it is in the sovereign interest of both the nations.
India's leadership is central to Australia's Indo-Pacific strategy. It is in the sovereign interests of us both to align our strategy, our capability and our resources. And so today we have continued to work towards enhancing Australia's posture in the Indian Ocean region by ramping up our Air Force cooperation, our maritime engagement and exercises.
Both sides noted with happiness that Australia joined the Malabar exercise in 2020. In this context, the Indian side also expressed satisfaction in the continued participation of Australia in Malabar exercise this year. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh apprised Minister Dutton about the recent efforts towards Atmanirbhar Bharat and growing innovation ecosystem in India. They discussed opportunities to work together in defence, science and technology areas.
Australian Foreign Minister Marise Payne today said it is certainly an exciting time to witness continued rise of New India, a country which is both ancient and modern. In a keynote speech hosted by the Observer Research Foundation, Ms. Payne said, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India is reassuring its leadership in contributing to a secure and prosperous region. She said vaccines provide great hope for return to normal and acknowledged the particularly important role that India has played in this area. CoWIN has developed a new application programming interface called Know Your Customers or Clients Vaccination Status, KYCVS. This will enable entities to check an individual status of vaccination through CoWIN. To use this API, an individual needs to enter his or her mobile number and name. Thereafter, they will get an OTP, which they have to enter. In return, CoWIN will send a response to the verifying entity on the individual's status of vaccination. If the response of CoWIN is 0, it means the person is not vaccinated. 1 means the person is partially vaccinated, and 2 means the person is fully vaccinated. This response will be digitally signed and can be shared instantly with the verifying entity.
Over 72 crore 37 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. In the last 24 hours, more than 67 lakh 58,000 vaccine doses were administered. Around 35,000 new COVID-19 cases were reported, while more than 37,000 people recovered in the last 24 hours. 260 people lost their lives during the period. Till now, more than 3 crore 23 lakh people have recovered from COVID-19. Union Health Ministry said the COVID recovery rate in the country now stands at 97.49%. The active caseload stands at over 3 lakh 90,000. Over 17 lakh 87,000 COVID tests were conducted yesterday. So far, 53 crore 86 lakh tests have been conducted in the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has praised Goa for administering the first dose of COVID-19 vaccines to 100% eligible population in Goa. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, it is a great effort powered by a collective spirit and the prowess of doctors as well as innovators.
Kerala continues to report a surge in COVID cases as 25,010 new cases were confirmed today. Thrissur district reported the highest number of cases, 3,226. The test positivity rate is at 16.53%. 177 deaths and 23,535 recoveries were also reported today. Over 2,37,000 people are currently undergoing COVID treatment in the state. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan informed that the current COVID situation in the state is not worrisome. The state had given stiff resistance to the second wave so far. The vaccination drive in the state was of great help in bringing the situation under control. The Punjab government employees failing to take even the first dose of COVID vaccine for any reason other than medical will be compulsorily sent on leave after September the 15th. Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh announced this strict step and said the motive is to protect the people of the state from the deadly disease and to ensure that those who are vaccinated do not have to pay the price for continued vaccine hesitancy of those who are not. At the high-level virtual COVID review meeting held at Chandigarh today, the Chief Minister said vaccine effectiveness is evident from the data being analysed. Special efforts are being taken to reach out to government employees, and those who continue to avoid getting vaccinated will now be asked to go on leave till they get the first dose. Captain Amrinder also allowed teaching and non-teaching school staff who had taken at least one dose of vaccine more than 4 weeks ago to resume duties, subject to submission of a weekly RT-PCR negative test reports.
Meghalaya reported 7 COVID-19 related deaths in the last 24 hours, including 188 new cases. The Directorate of Health Services informed that the number of deaths in the state has reached 1,346 and active cases are 2,007. The deaths reported in the last 24 hours were 5 from East Khasi Hills District, 1 each from Southwest Khasi Hills District and West Jaintia Hills District. The state also recorded 144 recoveries, bringing the total recovered cases to 74,524. Till date, 13,86,661 doses have been administered, out of which 10,42,748 are first dose and 3,43,913 are second dose. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will perform the Lokarpan of Sardar Dham Bhavan and Bhumi Pujan of Sardar Dham Phase 2 Kanya Chhatralaya tomorrow via video conferencing. Sardar Dham has been working towards educational and social transformation, upliftment of weaker sections of society and providing employment opportunities to the youth. Set up in Ahmedabad, the Sardar Dham Bhavan includes state-of-the-art facilities for students with modern amenities. The Kanya Chhatralaya will be a hostel facility for 2,000 girls, irrespective of economic criteria.
President of India, Ramnath Kovind, will visit Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. During his one-day visit, the President will lay the foundation stones for the Uttar Pradesh National Law University and new building complex of the Allahabad High Court. He will lay the foundation stone for multi-level parking, advocate chamber library and an auditorium. The new building complex will have around 2,600 chambers for the lawyers of the court. The Uttar Pradesh government has released 600 crore rupees for this project. The President will also visit the library hall of the High Court Bar Association. The Uttar Pradesh National Law University will be established in Jhalwa area of the city. Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana, along with other senior judges, and Union Law Minister Kiren Rijiju will also grace the occasion. You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. India-Australia hold bilateral meet in New Delhi to discuss defence cooperation, deepening military engagements and cooperation in emerging defence technologies. CoWIN develops new application programming interface to enable checking individual status of COVID-19 vaccination. Over 72 crore 37 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 97.49%. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to perform Lokarpan of Sardar Dham Bhavan and Bhumi Pujan of Sardar Dham Phase 2 Kanya Chhatralaya in Ahmedabad via video conferencing tomorrow. President Ramnath Kovind to visit Prayagraj tomorrow to lay foundation stones for Uttar Pradesh National Law University and new building complex of Allahabad High Court. In West Bengal, BJP releases list of candidates for by-poll in 3 assembly seats. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee files nomination for by-election in Bhobanipur Assembly constituency. Ganesh Chaturthi being celebrated with devotion across the country. President, Vice President and Prime Minister greet people on the occasion. United Arab Emirates lifts restrictions on entry for fully vaccinated residents. Indians may fly into UAE from September the 12th. In cricket, fifth and final test match between India and England at Old Trafford called off due to COVID-19 fears. In US Open, top seed Novak Djokovic to take an Olympic gold medalist Alexander Zverev in men's semi-final tonight. In women's singles, 18-year-old British Emma Raducanu to clash with Canadian Leylah Fernandez in finals on Sunday. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मात नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मात नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the evening news. As announced earlier, Trinamool Congress Supremo Mamata Banerjee today filed her nomination for the upcoming by-election in Bhobanipur Assembly constituency. She was accompanied by Nispal Singh Rane, husband of actress Koel Malik, Ismat Hakim, wife of State Transport Minister Firhad Hakim, her chief electoral agent Vaishnavar Chatterjee, Nirmal Maji and others. Meerat Shah, head of Bhobanipur Education Society, was also with the chief minister. Ismat Hakim and Nispal Singh Rane signed the nomination papers in front of the returning officer as the Chief Minister's nominees. The Chief Minister walked out of the nomination hall within 15 minutes. The festival of Ganesh Chaturthi is being celebrated across the country today with great devotion. The day marks the birth of Lord Ganesha, who is a symbol of wisdom, prosperity and good fortune. People place clay idols of Lord Ganesha in their home and worship them during the 10-day-long festival. Ganesh Chaturthi is a major attraction in Maharashtra, where people celebrate it with great zeal. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have greeted citizens on the occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi. In a message, the President called upon everyone to celebrate this festival in an atmosphere of enthusiasm and harmony while adhering to COVID-appropriate behavior. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said in India it is a common practice to invoke and chant the name of Lord Ganesha to remove any obstacle in one's endeavors. The Prime Minister said, "May this auspicious occasion bring happiness, peace, good fortune and health in everyone's life." BJP has released the list of its candidates for the by-poll in 3 assembly seats in West Bengal. The party has fielded Priyanka Tibriwal from Bhabanipur assembly seat against West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, while BJP candidate Milind Ghosh will contest from Shamsherganj and Sujit Jas from Jangipur assembly seat. The voting for the by-elections is scheduled for 30th September and the counting of votes will take place on the 3rd of October.
Union Minister of State for Food Processing Industries Prahlad Singh Patel has said that the export of food processing products can reach $400 billion in the coming years. He said the government has taken several steps to bridge the demand-supply gap and reduce the wastage of food items in the last 7 years. In an exclusive interview with AIR News, Mr. Patel said the government is providing technical and financial support to farmers and entrepreneurs so that cheaper and quality products can be prepared in the country.
3 ही लक्ष्य विभाग के हैं कि मांग और पूर्ति के गैप के लिए देश तैयार हो। दूसरा, जहां पर अधिक मात्रा में उत्पादन हो जाए तो वो सड़े ना, या तो उसकी उम्र बढ़ा दी जाए या उसको प्रोसेस करके और गुणवत्ता उसकी बढ़ा दी जाए ताकि वो देश में और देश के बाहर वो पहुंच सके। और तीसरी बात उन्होंने कही है कि भाई आखिरकार हमें निर्यात की तरफ आगे बढ़ना होगा और इसलिए जो निर्यात है अभी हमारा है वो कुल 38 बिलियन का है। मुझे लगता है कि ये लक्ष्य पाया जा सकता है। निफ्टम जैसी हमारी संस्थाएं इसमें बेहतर काम कर रही हैं और भी जो संस्थाएं देश में हैं जो निजी क्षेत्र चला रहे हैं उनके साथ मिलकर हमारी जिम्मेदारी है कि किसान उत्पादक हो या अन्न उत्पादक हो, उनको किस तकनीक की जरूरत है। तो मुझे लगता है कि हम सब मिलकर उत्पादक, व्यापारी, हमारे समूह, सोसाइटी, एफपीओ, साइंटिस्ट और हम उद्योगपति मिलकर इस लक्ष्य को जरूर प्राप्त करें।
On the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Mr. Patel said the Prime Minister's call for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav has given great strength to the country. He said several activities have been planned by the Food Processing Industry Ministry for the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
हम लोगों ने तय किया कि इन सप्ताह के भीतर 20 जो यूनिट हैं जो सफलता के साथ में चल रहे हैं, पूरे हो गए हैं, उनको हम लोकार्पित करेंगे। ये 10 राज्यों में और भी पहले से जो स्कीम चल रही थी मेगा फूड पार्क की, वो 42 वित्त मंत्रालय ने की थी, जिसमें से 41 पर काम शुरू हुआ था, लगभग 22 उसमें चल रही है। वहां पर एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को मौका मिले, जो स्कीम का मूल उद्देश्य था, उस पर भी सरकार काम कर रही है, विभाग काम कर रहा है।
The full interview can be heard tonight on FM Gold in additional frequency from 9:15 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.com and our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can also follow us on the News on AIR app for updates. The Tribal Affairs Ministry and All India Institute of Medical Sciences AIIMS today organized a workshop for NGOs on nutrition and health in New Delhi as part of its Poshan Ma activities. The workshop was attended by more than 70 NGOs who are working in the health sector in tribal areas. During the workshop, the need for proper nutrition during pregnancy, lactating mothers and beyond was highlighted. A chart showing age-wise nutrition needs was also shared with the participating NGOs.
As the nation celebrates 75th year of independence, a series of events is being organized by the government as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar every day with All India Radio from Monday the 16th of August. As part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, News Services Division of All India Radio brings to you the story of glorious struggle and sacrifices of freedom fighters on 100.1 FM Gold channel in the English news bulletins at 8:30 AM, 2 PM and 8:30 PM. Stay tuned.
Let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, in which we bring you a glimpse of India's freedom struggle every day.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. India's glorious fight for freedom is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the valiant struggle every day.
In today's episode, we will talk about two great sons of the soil, Bagha Jatin and Govind Ballabh Pant.
This day in 1915, one of the fiercest freedom fighters of his times, Jatindranath Mukherjee, had the final battle with the British and was martyred.
Jatindranath was born in the Kushtia subdivision of Nadia district of undivided Bengal, in what is now Bangladesh. Jatin loved all Indians irrespective of class or caste or religions, right from his early days.
Once, to save the villagers, Jatin fought hand-to-hand with a man-eating Royal Bengal tiger for 3 hours and killed the tiger with a Gorkha dagger. This is how he came to be known as Bagha Jatin.
As a college student, Jatindranath joined a relief camp organized by Sister Nivedita. Sister Nivedita introduced Jatin to Swami Vivekananda. Vivekananda instructed Jatin to take up the mission to serve the motherland.
The nation was seething with discontent against the British Raj. It was Sri Aurobindo who trusted Jatin to create a secret society. That secret society was known as Jugantar, and Bagha Jatin became its commander-in-chief.
Jatin's clarion call, Amra Morbo, Jogat Jogbe, meaning we shall die to awaken the nation, evoked the currents of Indian nationalism. Jatin inspired many young minds, including Ras Bihari Bose, who described Jatin a real leader of men with fiery energy and personality.
In the year 1914, when the First World War broke out, Jatin approached the German Crown Prince for the delivery of arms for his fight against the British. M.N. Roy was asked to coordinate with the Germans for the arrival of the shipment.
Jatin, along with his followers, was hiding near Balasore, where the shipload of arms from Germany was planned to be received. But the information of this consignment was leaked by an Irish agent and the British attacked them.
While the British side was armed with highly sophisticated rifles, Jatin and his team fought with pistols. Jatin and his followers fought hard.
But Bagha Jatin was seriously wounded in the battle, and the next day he succumbed to injuries in Balasore City Hospital.
The poet Nazrul Islam hailed the Battle of Balasore as the Haldi Ghat of New India. Balasore Budi Balamer Tir Nabo Bharoter Haldi Ghat Uday Godhuli Range Ranga Hoye Uthechilo Jotha Astopat Anil Gagan Gambuj Chhoa Kapiya Uthilo Nil Achal অস্ত্রবীরে ছুটি ধরে আনি মধ্য গগনে কোন পাগল আপন বুকের রক্ত ঝলকে পাংশু রবিরে করে লোহিত বিমানে বিমানে বাজে বন্দুকি থর থর কাঁপে স্বর্গী দেবকী মাতার বুকের পাথর নড়িল কারায় অকস্মাৎ বিনা মেঘে হল দৈত্যপুরীর প্রাসাদে সেদিন বজ্রপাত।
Govind Ballabh Pant, a legal luminary and a freedom fighter, was born on 10th of September 1887 in Khoont village near Almora.
He participated in the protests against the Simon Commission in 1928. Pant was targeted by the police and he sustained severe injuries which prevented Pant from straightening his back for the rest of his life.
He was imprisoned many times during freedom struggle. In 1930, Pant was arrested and imprisoned for several weeks for organizing the Salt March. He was again arrested in 1933 and remained in jail for 7 months for attending a session of the Provincial Congress.
Again in 1940, Pant was imprisoned for helping organize the Satyagraha, and in 1942, he was sent to Ahmednagar jail for 3 years for signing the Quit India resolution.
After independence, Govind Ballabh Pant served as the first Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh.
He left for his heavenly abode on the 7th of March 1961 at the age of 74, while still in office as the Home Minister of the country.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar AIR News ke Sang. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a high-level meeting to review the COVID-19 related situation. The topics covered included a review of the prevailing COVID-19 scenario, preparedness of the health systems to respond, availability of medical oxygen, and matters relating to production, supply and distribution of COVID-19 vaccine. It was discussed that across the world there are countries where the number of active COVID cases continue to remain high. In India too, the figures from states like Maharashtra and Kerala indicate that there can be no room for complacency.
The fifth and final test between India and England at Old Trafford, Manchester has been called off due to COVID-19 fears in the Indian camp today, just hours before the scheduled start of the play. The England and Wales Cricket Board has issued an official statement confirming the cancellation of the match. In the US Open tennis tournament, number 1 Novak Djokovic will meet 4th seed Olympic gold medalist Alexander Zverev in the men's singles semi-finals tonight. Number 2 Daniil Medvedev will take on Aliassim in the second semi-final. British teenager Emma Raducanu made history by becoming the first ever qualifier to reach the women's singles final at a Grand Slam. The British team defeated 17-seeded Maria Sakkari of Greece 6-1, 6-4 in the semi-finals today. To become the youngest Grand Slam finalist in 17 years, 18-year-old Raducanu, who is ranked 150th in the world, will take on another teen, Leila Fernandez of Canada, in the women's singles US Open final on Sunday. The United Arab Emirates, UAE, on Friday said that it is lifting restrictions on entry for residents who have been fully vaccinated with a shot approved by the World Health Organization, WHO. It said that residents from India can fly into the UAE from September the 12th.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India-Australia hold bilateral meet in New Delhi to discuss defence cooperation, deepening military engagements and cooperation in emerging defence technologies. CoWIN develops new application programming interface to enable checking of individuals' status of COVID-19 vaccination. Over 72 crore 37 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 97.49%. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to perform Lokarpan of Sardar Dham Bhavan and Bhumi Pujan of Sardar Dham Phase 2 Kanya Chhatralaya in Ahmedabad via video conferencing tomorrow. President Ramnath Kovind to visit Prayagraj tomorrow to lay foundation stones for Uttar Pradesh National Law University and new building complex of Allahabad High Court. In West Bengal, BJP releases list of candidates for by-poll in 3 assembly seats. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee files nomination for by-election in Bhubanipur Assembly constituency. Ganesh Chaturthi being celebrated with devotion across the country. President, Vice President and Prime Minister greet people on the occasion. United Arab Emirates lifts restrictions on entry for fully vaccinated residents. Indians may fly into the UAE from September 12th. In cricket, fifth and final test between India and England at the Old Trafford called off due to COVID-19 fears. And in US Open, top seed Novak Djokovic to take on Olympic gold medalist Alexander Zverev in men's semi-final tonight. In the women's singles, 18-year-old British Emma Raducanu to clash with Canadian Leila Fernandez in the finals on Sunday. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.